begin? Okay. So I'm so glad you're all here. I appreciate you all taking the time. I'm Kathy Archer, president of the Art Colony, and tonight's discussion is basically about the Cove Gallery, which is the former Goetemann Gallery, and how to write a proposal and things to think about for that gallery. And I'm going to talk about what goes into making a good proposal that will capture the imagination of the jurors so that your proposal would be accepted. But I also have two other people here to help me. One is Robin Colodzin. You can see, well, I'm looking at Robin up on top in the middle. You may not be, but Robin can help you with many of the technical questions you may have, including those regarding lighting, keys in the lockbox for the gallery, bathroom access, leaving the gallery in the shape you found it, those type of questions. And Sally Strand is here. Sally, if you'll wave to everyone.
Yeah, hi.
Sally can answer your questions about gallery sitting. How do you divide up and schedule the artist sitting time? What are the best practices for a gallery sitter? So important. And can we have a reception and how do we advertise it? Those type of questions. So although you're all muted, we will stay till the bitter end till all of your questions are answered. We don't want to leave any stone unturned. So I'll tell you about the Cove Gallery, and Mark Goetemann, whom you see in one of those little windows there with his partner Jen, is one of the children of the Goetemanns, Judy and Gordon Goetemann, who raised their family there and who dedicated the space to the Art Colony because Judy and Gordon were two of the most important people to the entire Art Colony. And their emphasis was not just on hanging up a painting. It was about critical discourse, about shows that they went to. The yellow cushions that you see out in front of that gallery were, you could always find one of them sitting there willing to have a conversation about art. And they did not love to just banter. They really wanted to talk about something intellectual, and they're completely the entire reason that I'm at the gallery or at the Art Colony now and have stayed, because I love to see the passion and the interest that they instilled in me continue. So their work contained very powerful imagery, and they continued to make great work that inspires. So with that in mind, we're seeking shows that continue that high standard. We have the Gallery 53 that you're aware of, that people can go in and buy small objects and things that people have made to take home as a souvenir, but we don't see the Cove Gallery that way. So I wanted to tell you first and foremost, if you are going to be one of the curators of a show, you're responsible for all the artists in the show. So that means you have to know that the people that you ask to be in the show are not just good artists, but that they're going to show up for their gallery sitting time, that they're going to be pleasant and address people when they come in and not just sit on a computer or on their phone and talk. It's very important that we, to the Art Colony, that we maintain this gallery in that fashion. And so choose the artist in your show for their reliability and sense of responsibility, as well as for their work. You can see I have a cheat sheet because I can't remember all of this. I can't remember much these days. So the best proposals typically have a theme that runs through the show and is referenced in the show's title. The people you ask to be on your show should complement one another and add to that theme in some way. So open with a strong, clear sentence in your proposal that succinctly communicates your idea. For instance, Robin was in a show you may have seen, which was fantastic, called Sense and Sensibility. And it explored themes of women, language, family, and home. And their proposals stated these words: the artist's statements share a commonality, an embrace of contradiction, calm chaos, representation, abstraction, old, new, destruction, creation, love, loss. These committed creators actively transform, collect, blend, glue, hammer, burn, wrap, fold, bolt, sew, draw, print, collage, and photograph, all in pursuit of a shared goal, dialogue with the viewer. It's pretty wonderful. So tell us as jurors why your show would appeal to the viewing public. Also, very important to consider the scale and layout of the gallery space. We really recommend that you speak to Courtney, whose email you can find in the chat box, and she'll be willing to meet you and your group, or just one of you. You can take pictures of the space so that you know that if you intend to hang a trapeze, that it might not work, and that might not be the right gallery for your show. Likewise, we might reject a proposal if it isn't realistic for our space. It's truly a blank canvas, and artists have added chairs and other furniture, shelving, and pedestals. Just remember that everything you bring in has to be removed again in 2 short days' time, because we're allowing 2 days for you to move in and set up your show. And then Sunday night, when your time is over, you take the work out again until Tuesday around noontime, when the next people move in. Also, be sure to submit high quality images of your work. The stronger your images, the stronger the proposal. Good quality images really show you care. And the space at Cove Gallery is very valuable to the art colony, and we want to know that you care about it as much as we do. So we've been asked if not having a website disqualifies an artist. The short answer is no, if the artist in question can supply good quality images for us to evaluate their work with. Finally, read and follow all the application's instructions pretty carefully. If you have questions, please ask. My email is kgerdonarcher@mac.com, and I'll spell that for you. It's KGERDON Archer@macmac.com, and I'll try to answer all your inquiries within 24 hours. So now I'd like to introduce Robin Colodzin to tell you some technical details about the gallery.
Hello, all. First thing I want to say is I really want to credit Mary Rhinelander for what Kathy read about the proposal that put together. She really did a great job. It was a real privilege to be in the Cove Gallery, partly because of the Goetemann's history that they brought, but also because it's an amazing space. So, work looks really good there. It's sort of a very nice place to show. I'm going to share with you a link in the chat for, we came up with kind of a daily log kind of to track visitors, but also with all the instructions of here's where all the different lights are, and, just some of those logistical kind of things of when you get there, the drop box and all of that. So I will, go over it somewhat roughly, but in the chat is a link to that. So don't bother taking notes. This is kind of where I'm going with that. There is a lockbox outside, and you'll be provided with the combination at that time. We found it was best, go to the lockbox, unlock the door, and put the key back in the lockbox right away. We had, it went home in someone's pocket. It can do that. So really best to just put it right back in the lockbox. The lights really are all over the place. There's a lot of different places for lights. So that's in that document that I gave you. So, the first person there in the morning is going to turn on all the lights. Bathroom access, Mark and family kindly last time, I'm assuming this is still so, let us, right next door, you go up a flight of stairs and there's a bathroom on the right. We didn't make that available to guests coming in. That really was just for gallery sitters. So, if that was my sense of it. Setting up the show, really, any hole you put in the wall, when you take the show down later, you're going to want to spackle and paint and all of that. At least that was our understanding of it. And yeah, and in general, I'm just trying to think, sort of really thinking about, having a chair, bringing maybe a small table so that you can have a guest book on it, this kind of thing. It really was a pleasure to sit there, I mean, it's a beautiful spot. And, people are coming by and you can have some really lovely conversations with people. So I would say, take a look at that document that I posted, which breaks down the logistics, and I'm happy to answer any further questions than that.
Thanks, Robin. I appreciate it. Okay, Sally, you're up.
All right, so for scheduling, basically when we did it, I would just add up all the hours, and the hours have been extended this year. So keep that in mind and add up all the hours, and then just get together with your group and everyone have a calendar and kind of pick your days. That was the easiest way we did it. And we do have some gallery sitters, but if you're using somebody else, they should be approved. They should know of everyone's work. And they should, not just ignore the guests when they come in, because it's really important to kind of read your customer. You have to, let them look around a little bit, but also engage with them. And one thing I think is easy, having lots of people's work, you don't have to just talk about yourself. You can talk about everyone else. And one way that we did that is when we were setting up the show, everyone sort of gave a little talk, amongst, all the artists in the show of how they wanted to be represented, so that you could speak to the customers, with the artist's sort of words in mind. That was helpful. Yeah, and have a nice space to sit and relax, but definitely get up and engage with the people when they come in. And also it's, it's the beginning gallery of Rocky Neck. So you're kind of an information center as well. So it's important to know what else is going on and give them directions to the cultural center, and, talk about the other shows that are going on in the different galleries. Talk about Cultural Splash when that's happening. And, people love to know that you're a source of information. So that helps as well. Let's see. So reception, yeah, definitely have a reception. You can have an opening and closing one if you want. And then usually just everyone that's in the show provides, shares the cost of getting some wine and some hors d'oeuvres in there. And for advertising, the Cultural Center can put it out there too, but every artist should be posting and getting people out there and sharing the word with people that they know. And it's also helpful to have a card that people can take that have all the artist names and website, and a nice sort of poster or something to put. There's a little sign place in front of the gallery, and it's nice to put a poster of your show in that space too. It's on magnets, so it's really easy to put that up there. I think I covered it all. Yes?
Yeah, I think so. I would add that what worked well for us is if you were gallery sitting and you looked at the calendar and saw the next person, just send them a text or call them.
Oh, yeah.
To remind them. That worked out really well, so that we didn't have a panic day when no one showed up.
Right.
And also with any advertising that goes out.
Please try again.
Sorry, my phone was talking to me. With any advertising that goes out, it needs to go through Janice Brand, whom you can see there in the screen, and she's our artistic director. and she'll make sure that you've included all the information that is necessary, and also Courtney. So anything that's going out, just run it by them quickly through an email, and they'll approve it and make sure that it's branded as Rocky Neck, etc.
Sorry, something went wrong.
Something's going really wrong with my phone, and I'm really, really sorry, but I can't. I dropped it and I can't shut it off.
Yeah, also to mention that I have a key to the gallery also, and there's also one at the Cultural Center. So if the key does end up going home with someone, there are ways to get a key quickly. So I'm happy to help with that.
Absolutely. Courtney, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I don't, and this could be me maybe not paying attention as closely as I should have been, so my apologies. Did we talk about the point of sale system at all?
No, not yet.
Okay.
We will talk about that in questions, but why don't you address it now?
Sure. I just wanted to mention, so the artists that do get selected to be in a show each month, we expect everyone to be an active member of the art colony. And the arrangement with that is when you sell your artwork, we provide a point of sale system. And we, at the end of the month, our bookkeeper tallies everything, and you get 75% of your sales, and the art colony gets 25%. And that goes to continuing all this work we're doing and covering our cost. The point of sale system is it was pretty basic last summer. I know we are going to make some changes so that we can track everything a little bit better. I'm going to meet with Mark and Jen soon, hopefully, to talk over some things. But I think overall, and Sally and Robin and Kathy can attest to this, it was pretty simple. We will provide you with a process in a sheet of tips, and just ask that you follow them. And if you have any trouble, that you contact me. I had gallery sitters calling me at random times because something didn't work, and that's fine. We want to have the bookkeeping as neat and tidy as possible. But more of that later.
All right. Well, if everyone wants to unmute, we'll take any questions that anyone has. Just raise your hand and we'll add to them. Robin, you had something?
I was gonna add one other thing that I forgot to mention, which is creating inventory sheets is useful, and also and I think there's a template that the art colony provides so that everyone has a list of all their artwork and this kind of thing, and printing labels. There was some stuff that we didn't really think of a lot in advance, but so having someone to print out labels on the clear mailing labels, right? There's Courtney, I think maybe the art colony has suggestions of, what is consistent for the look and feel. So that, in advance, that's another good thing to do. And the one other thing in terms of getting the word out, it was really helpful to have someone do a little walkthrough video, as a way to send a link around and get people interested in the show. So that's it.
That's great. Great. Very, very helpful. Anybody have any questions? Feel free to unmute anyone who wants to. We will be happy to answer any of them. Oh, we must have done a really good job.
Oh, no, there's one question.
Okay.
Yeah, you said that any advertising needs to go through Janice. So are you saying that if we're going to put something up on our Instagram or send out our newsletter from our website, that has to, we have to send that to Janice first for her to see?
No, please don't. We're mainly talking press releases that go out from Courtney from Rocky Neck, but it is helpful if you have that press release done first or a card done first. Then it kind of helps you hone the message that you want and the verbiage you want. So you can use that, and you've got a consistent message over all of your channels. That really works the best.
Okay, thank you.
And if you make posters or postcards, we ask that you put our logo on there. just to help us with branding. This is it's not the cultural center, but it's a part of the Rocky Neck Art Colony. So we want to be consistent there as well.
Oh, we have a question here from Terry Del Percio. And she asks, how many proposals are you accepting for this year's season? If you look on the web page, you'll see that we have slots. They're laid out by the month and give you all of the dates and the deadlines. So we have a show from May 17th through June 12th, June 14th to July 10th, July 12th through August 14th, and August 14th through September 18th. So it gives you all the dates and times. So basically 4 shows. Any other questions?
Kathy, I think Olive had one, but she's got to unmute unless
Okay.
unless we answered all your questions.
Hello, can you hear me
Hi,
now?
Yes.
Oh, hello, good evening, lovely to see you all. Is it too early to ask about the Thursday evening splash? Were you thinking of doing that again?
Yes, I can speak to that. So the 2 cultural districts are partnering again this summer. For those who are unfamiliar, the Culture Splash is a Thursday evening spotlight on arts and cultural activity happening within each of the Gloucester cultural districts. So it's the downtown, Harbor Town, and then across the harbor, Rocky Neck Cultural District. And we are not having the trolley this year, but we are having free harbor shuttle transportation. The Culture Splash hours will run from 4 to 7, but the trolley will be operating until 8 p.m. That's one change that's happening. And we are hoping to do this in June as well. So our cultural district partners on Rocky Neck have decided that they want to be open on Thursday nights in June also.
Great, thank you, good to know.
Actually, we've scheduled the openings, the receptions, to be more in the a little bit further into the beginning of the month. So that, is that right, Courtney? We were changing the dates for reception so that on these Thursday nights, people would get used to coming to Rocky Neck and having something different happening all through the month. So we're trying to stagger so that all of our openings at the Cultural Center, at Gallery 53, and at the Cove Gallery aren't all happening the same night. That will keep things a little livelier.
Right.
Anyone else?
Kathy, why are you not doing one in October?
Well, Mark was hoping that we wouldn't be open in October because, was it Mark, because of the weather, or maybe you'd like to speak to that?
I haven't separated the gas service in the building, so the tenant who's living upstairs pays the gas, and the first floor system, heat system, when it's set at 65, it basically runs 24/7. It doesn't even shut off. So it's at this time it's pretty awkward to run shows into the heating season, but that may change as I think kind of an organic confluence of interests come about. I think it would be a nice summer this year. We just have to get. I'm starting a new thing, renting to somebody, and so I just have to get comfortable, and we'll take it from there.
Wonderful, thank you. Anyone else? Oh, I know, Mark, I'd like to ask you, will the people that are renting be using the deck out back, or will we be able to have access to that?
You definitely can use it, but we have to be very thoughtful about using it. So that means, we'd like to get some notice, give them some notice that we're going to be out there. the gentleman is working, he's using the first floor in the back as his office. And so, during business hours, I think that might be awkward.
Mhm.
But again, if we give them notice, I'm sure that they'll accommodate. No problem. Nights and weekends, I think, are fine, up until reasonable hour. And the driveway, same thing with the driveway.
Okay, great. Thank you. So the driveway is a wonderful place to put some food out and have people. We started that because we were dealing with COVID at the time, and we thought it would be great if people could go out, grab some food, go out on the back deck, or come into the gallery and look around. But we'll have better parameters set for you so that you'll know in your contract who to contact if you intend to use any of those spaces. And we'll try to make them available if possible.
I should add about the back deck is, I invite people to go back there, individuals. I mean, so you can invite people to go back and enjoy the view. It's there for everyone. But if you're gonna have a party, then we should give them notice.
All right, great. I'm sure all of you know about Barbara Lynch's restaurant at the Rudder. If you haven't seen the video, she's done an interview with Joey Shimataro from Good Morning Gloucester, the blog. And people are very excited about her restaurant. And so we expect that this is going to be a particularly interesting summer. Because there'll be a lot of people trying to be first in the restaurant and give their opinion. And so, although the hours are longer, I think they're going to be well worth your time. So that's pretty much why we're asking for 4 to 6 people in each proposal as a minimum, because you have a lot of hours, and as much as you think it's easy to gallery sit, it can be very exhausting to be on, and wonderful all those hours. So, the more people, the more chance you have to take a break. You'll get to welcome that. But I think for all of us who showed in that gallery, the excitement of that beautiful space, the way the sun comes through the windows, the way all of the artwork is shown, is just to the best advantage. So it's really a pleasure to show there. Well, anyone else have any other questions?
Kathy, I think Susan Alvey did, unless we've answered all her questions too.
Oh, there you are, Susan.
Hi, Kathy. Thank you, Janice. Actually, no, you did answer it, because what I was going to ask was the proposal that includes 4 to 6 people, that I think you just clarified is for the entire gallery, not a portion of the gallery, correct?
Right, for the entire gallery. And more is better. I know that every artist loves to have a lot of space to show their work, especially if they make larger pieces. But we do have, when Mark built this space, he built sliding walls into it as well. And so when it's your turn to sit, you can maybe slide the wall out that features your piece, but you can also show people that come in other extra pieces that belong to other people in your show. So it's really a bonus for the space. And making the space comfortable with some chairs and making people want to be there. You don't want your friends to come in and sit down and stay all day. I mean, that is just going to work against you. So obviously you don't want to make it too comfortable, but to make it feel like as warm and as inviting as you can is certainly worthwhile. There is a video available that I took of the show, one of our shows, and although it does show all the artwork in that show, it is a good reminder as you walk through of all the different spaces and what kind of arrangement you might make on those walls. So that's available too in the information.
Kathy, how many proposals did you get last year?
Well, last year was our first year, so we didn't really get proposals as much as we couldn't get the word out fast enough. Mark was working like crazy, and he does have a real job beyond taking care of us. So he was coming down and working nights and weekends, and in fact, even the centerpiece that we walk around in the gallery, he completely took apart and rebuilt again to make it smaller so it would fit the space. So we were really not sure how many people we could fit in and at what time. So we asked people to show last year. And so even though we did get proposals, we didn't have that many that we had to do a lot of jurying. This year is different. This year, people have had a chance to see the space and to understand what a privilege it is to show there. So this will be an interesting second inaugural year.
Oh, I have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sally.
Well, somebody emailed me asking to be connected to people because she wanted to be part of a show. So are we having some way of connecting people that want to be in a show but don't know enough artists?
You know, I don't really have a standard way to do that, but if you have anyone or any of you are a lone artist and want to connect with some other people to put a show together, why don't you send me an email and I'll collect the names, and then if Courtney or Sally or anyone else gets more, we'll put them all together and share that with you. So you can see if your work goes together and do some gallery, some studio visits and talk and make sure that you are compatible.
And I've been encouraged, excuse me, Kathy, I've also had that same question, and I've been encouraging people to go to our website, to our member page, where we have, most of our members are linked. We have their websites linked to their name, and it's just a good way to see who's out there, what they're making, and, you know, encouraging people to reach out that way as well. So either way.
That's great. We really have an awful lot of help to offer. So if you're not comfortable asking in this format, just send us an email, stop in at the Cultural Center. Any way we can help, we really are quite willing, because we have a lot vested in this gallery and we really want to see it keep up the level of work that was there last year. We're really excited about that. And there is a garden out front, a beautiful garden that Jen and her mother planted. And our first year, we didn't do such a great job of taking care of that. We thought that we could ask each group that went in, would they please water the plants, but people forgot. Some days it rained a lot. So we're going to take that off of the gallery list of responsibilities, and the art colony is going to work with 1 or 2 people that will just be in charge of that garden. So we'll try to keep it looking good without adding to the artist's responsibilities. All right, well, if we've
I have a well, kind of a question, but maybe you can give a couple tips and hints for the terminally shy and introverted who are going to be gallery sitting. And how do you get up and suddenly become Miss Welcome Girl and talk to people? It can be a little terrifying.
It is intimidating, but you know, and I haven't experienced that problem because I'm just a big talker, but I would say everyone that walks in that gallery, they just are overwhelmed by how beautiful it is. So you almost don't have to say an awful lot. It's kind of, I'm so glad that you're enjoying this space because we're so proud of it. And it is, you know, I'll give you a card and tell you about the artists in the show. Typically, I would say, I'm going to give you my little speech and then I'm going to let you look without bothering you. And people always giggled when I said that and said, all right, well, we can tolerate that much. And I just say, there are 4 of us in the show. This is Janice, this is Barbara, this is my work. And if you have any questions, you know, please feel free to ask. And people relaxed after that. So it is helpful to give a little tiny introduction, but short and sweet. I think the worst thing you can do is eat smelly foods at the desk and or ignore people, even when they come in and you think that you're giving them the chance to walk around and look at the work. You still need to be aware of where they are in the space and that they may have a question, and if they think that you're typing or on your phone, they won't want to bother you. So it really behooves you as the gallery sitter to pay attention the entire time. And also there's cleaning involved. A lot of people we noticed don't worry about that, but we have, you know, a lot of leaves come into the gallery, and it's a great idea every time you come in to lift up the mat outside, dust off the cushions and sweep a little. It just makes everything look that much better. So that'd be my advice.
I'm one of those shy people who can't engage. I find that the trick is to, when you open some of the gallery sitters last year would just open one door. There are two doors, you know, a pair of doors. And I encourage you to open both of them, because when just one's open, it looks like somebody's like 1 foot out the door, they're leaving. It's not open, it's questionable. So really encourage you to keep both doors open. And then the lucky person gets to hang a small piece behind one of the doors. And then what you do is you just tell the visitor to the best, you know, the way to break the ice is to tell them that the best piece is behind the door. And you did the best for last or something like that. And it kind of, it's like it breaks the ice.
That's
and
great.
The door's open.
Thanks, Mark.
Right.
All right, I don't see any other questions. But if you look in the chat, you'll see that Courtney says she's available to show artists the space over the next few weeks. So just let her know. And in that chat, you'll also see emails and anybody else. Oh, Judy. Oh yeah, we answered your question about October. And if you think of anything else over the next couple of weeks, as I said, please feel free to get in touch with any of us. Okay.
Yeah, and Courtney, if you need any help, I can help show the space too.
Thank you. Thanks, Sally.
Thank
Robin,
you.
Sally, thank you so much, Courtney. And thanks to all of you for coming and sitting in with us. And Mark and Jen, thanks again for everything. Our guardian angels on the gallery. And we'll see you all. Looking forward to a great COVID-free, warm summer.
Right, and don't forget that Big Tiny online auction starts on April 10th and then the party is going to be on April 14th. And I recognize a lot of your names here, so thank you for submitting artwork.
Oh, that's going to be great. And that Big Tiny's online. So you'll be seeing information about that in the newsletter, ways to bid and how to get some great art for us by a surprise artist. We're hoping that most people remembered to sign the back, not the front. So you're surprised by whose work you've gotten. It's always a treat.
Yeah, the show's really good this year. I'm excited.
All right. All right, take care, everyone. Thank
right,
you all
thanks.
for coming.
Thank you very
Appreciate it.
much.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Right.
Good night.